Everybody, I'm Dr. Karen Mikowski, aka Butterfly Karen. Welcome. So, welcome. Now, before I just get started, I'm just going to log in, clock in tonight's clock in time and date, which is October the 2nd, 2024, and it's 7:32 p.m. So, we are clocking in. I knew that was going to happen. 10 2nd. Oh God, I cannot believe it's October already. Anybody feeling those October surprises and the energy shift? My God, I'll be coming back to that. Yeah, I'll be coming back to that in a moment. So 7:32 p.m. Okay. Wow. I'm just going to drink some green tea just before I get started. Ooh la la. Oh, that's quite hot. Now, for the love of God, I had to take a few days rest, literally like just a little bit of rest, mind rest, because I've done so much sort of like mind travel and things like this God. So sometimes my brain and my mind, they just need a little rest, you know. But I kind of knew because the energy completely shifted like 2 days ago, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who is feeling the major shift, because it is like really sort of, it feels really dense. In one way, this is hard to explain, but it feels like really heavy energy. It makes you feel a bit exhausted, like, I don't know. I mean, does it feel heavy? Heavy is the best word I can use. And, you know, even though I was sort of resting the mind, I was still getting hit with it by the higher order of like downloads and everything. I think I've got probably like a stack of papers I haven't even read through of just downloaded notes and everything coming through. So it was kind of nice to sort of just let the sort of downloads come in organically and flowing in, rather than just sort of like from, you know, actively doing the remote viewing session. But obviously, because a lot of stuff that comes through is symbolic, and, you know, sometimes it comes through incredibly nonsensical, and it's like, I don't know what any of that means. So I have to just sort of like read it and just figure out, okay. But there's a weird, okay, so it's okay, it's all just, I'm letting it come in right now. I've done my sort of pre-prep, and it was nice. I feel it's the shadow side of everybody. Like, you can be extremely high vibrational, right? You can have amazing human abilities and everything. You can be like even a chosen one, right? You can be all of that, but you're not immune from the human physical experience of dealing with the shadow side of you, because you've got to keep that in control, you know. So I feel like the last few days there was a lot of projective energy coming from people, which I felt that immediately anyway, like, really, is it going to, here we go. But I felt the energy shift first in the energy field, and I thought, okay, well, that's going to like annoy some peoples, that, you know, my little haters anyway. So I really don't care about that kind of crap, but it happens. So I thought, well, okay, the energy shifted. Now I'm pretty sure I'm going to be expecting a lot of projective energy, and it was really negative. So my little group haters out there, they were sending some very vicious sort of energy, and it was the energy of, it's only what they're feeling, it's only what they're dealing with. It's nothing to do with me, it's not my energy. But because they're constantly like trying to get into my energy field and like send that evil eye and hate you and screw you and, you know, all that crap. But it's everything that they hate about themselves, unfortunately. But they can't, and because it's the shadow side, instead of them just recognizing they're the problem, right, and then start the healing process and the healing journey with them, they don't want to do that. That's way too much hard work. These people are just, they hate themselves, and you can't help these people until they're ready to help themselves. But so rather than accept that and change it, they just project it. It's the weirdest thing. Like, that's not going to make you feel any better, because it doesn't really affect me the way it would a lot of people. But that doesn't mean I can't, because I'm a super empath. So obviously I'm going to have to feel something. I've got to feel it. And it's not just what they're projecting towards me, it's what they're projecting to all other people around them. It's not like, oh my God, it's a conspiracy and it's all me. No. The universe doesn't revolve around me. But for these people, they really believe the universe, it revolves around them. It's the weirdest thing. So people probably know a lot of people like that. So just don't be around them. If you can get away from them, don't have them in your life. They're not healthy. They're not healthy for you. They're not healthy for your spiritual growth or anything. And because they're not ready to do any shadow work or work on themselves or anything, they'll just drag you down. That's it. I'm a true speaker. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. So, but I was feeling like what they were pretty much projecting and sending out to everybody. Like, it's like, oh my God, they hate anybody that's happy. These haters are hateful people. Happiness haters and everything. So that's what was happening. But because there was a weird shift in the energy field, I feel like a lot of people were dealing with their sort of shadow side. I mean, most people don't really know what I mean, or wouldn't even know that. They're just probably thinking, why am I so moody? Why am I so tired? Why am I lacking motivation or anything? Why am I crying? Because the last few days has been an incredible roller coaster ride of emotions. So, and I feel like it's going to be like that for the next few days. So now I've absorbed God, all of the people sort of like projected energy that I'm feeling. I've absorbed it and I've transmuted it. But it's not a bad thing for me either, because it's a nice way to keep me grounded. Like, if I've got to feel like real intense heaviness, I'll react to it like, what is this? Because I know it's not my energy, but I'll release the frustration. And that's the other thing. Don't be overanalyzing it. If you're feeling like you want to scream, just scream. I mean, I wasn't screaming, but I'm just saying people will deal with these emotions differently. If you feel like you need to just sort of curse to the heavens, curse to the heavens, you're not going to get, oh, you're not a little person. No. You're not going to get judged for that. Only religious people will tell you that crap, right? You need to release, because releasing transmutes it. It gets it out of your energy field, and you just get it up there. Just send it to the universe, right? But don't keep it in. If you're emotional or tearful, cry. Your body probably needed a good cry anyway. You just need a release. So I feel like the next few days in this energy, just use it to release the fear. Got to get rid of that fear. There is a lot of fear going on right now. So fear base. God, really? Okay. I know where I'm going with it. Oh God, it's coming in, but I'm going to get ready. So, right. I will state one thing as a channeler, right? There is the problem with the spiritual community today is it's full of people that don't like to admit some people out there are chosen. Well, get over it, right? We're all special, we're all divine in our own, we're all amazing, but there are some on this planet that are selected, chosen, whatever label you want to put on it, but that's not going to change whether you like it or not. Just because you don't like it, or you might not feel like you're one of the chosen ones, that's okay, but that doesn't make you any less special. It just means you have a completely different mission. I mean, a lot of these, when I'm talking about sort of selected ones and chosen ones and things like that, they have a specific mission. They're not living your life and you're not living theirs. So that's what people and a lot of this comes from this sort of religious aspects in area of spirituality. They're like, well, God loves everybody. Yeah, of course he does. But it's not a man with a beard, right? God is an energy. It's everything, it's everywhere, it's all around us. It's part of us all, we're all interconnected. So this is what we forget. But through biblical teachings and that kind of stuff and that religious dogmas and things, you you can't fathom the thought that there's chosen ones out there. So that's where that really comes from. And it's it's annoying because they act like those that are chosen that know as well. And I'll tell you something as well. Those that are selected, I'm not going to use the word chosen because I think that's what annoys people. Selected, right? Not everybody's selected because not everybody has the same mission or same destined path. So this is what you've got to understand. So, but those that are selected, they know. Oh, they know. So they don't care about your opinions on whether, I don't like that word selected, but chosen. Because it makes everybody special. Yeah, we are. But not everybody's the same. And you've got to get this. Just because we are interconnected and we are all like one, we are all individual souls. We are all completely different too from each other. We're meant to be. Just because we're connected doesn't mean we're all the same at this moment in time, on this timeline, to do the same as everybody else. We are all important, right? We've all got a role to play within your human experience. You've all got a role to play. You've got to figure out what your role is. And instead of focusing on other people who are selected or chosen and getting a little bit pissy because you're not maybe as advanced as them or you're not as highly ascended as them, it's not a competition. And this is what the problem in the spiritual community is. People treat it like it's a competition. It is not. You are not. This is how you'll know you're ascending healthily, right? And you're growing spiritually. It's because you work on oneself. You've got to know yourself first. When you know oneself, you will understand, you will adopt self-love. And when you have that, you'll know you do not need to compete with anybody. And nobody can compete with you because you're completely different. It's not going to happen. So, time changes, but people's mentality doesn't. I'm going somewhere here with it. It's coming out slowly. And I'll get to it. Well, I'm going to hopefully finish this. But you just need to look within, figure out who you are, learn about who you are, and then implement who you are into the world. Put everything that you've got, learn about what you can contribute. What is it you love about you? What is it? We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect at all. That's your point of this beautiful earthly university of Earth, isn't it, right? We've got to learn. We've got to learn about ourselves and everything, constantly learning. So, but we're going to learn things about ourselves that we don't particularly like, so that's what you need to alter. If you don't like it, change it. No one's going to come along and go, would you like me to change you? That's not how it works. That's not self-growth. And you can't ascend to a higher spiritual level either, trapped in the energy, if you're not going to do the shadow work and the healing and everything. So that is unfortunately in the spirit, and I'm coming back to the beginning of this. What we're seeing in the spiritual community is this lazy attitude of feeling like people acting like they're divine and everything, but they haven't done an ounce of shadow work. They're not in control of their shadow side because it's still in control of them. And it's out there emanating dysfunctional human behavior. That's not spiritual growth at all. So it's a good way to mask, or pretend, or act in a fake way. There's plenty of that in the spiritual community. But there's a lot of hypocrites as well. So, because when you're doing the shadow work, it is painful. It's hard work. And it takes a very, very long time and it never really ends. So you've got to maintain it. Like once you're in control of your shadow side, right? Now you've got to maintain it so it doesn't just pop out again and the unhealthy ego takes over and all that fear comes back and all of that negativity and all that hate, hatred because someone's more successful than you or something like that. But I can feel the fear. Oh God. And I'll tell you something else that's going on. This energy shift too. I'd be intrigued to know how many people just dealing with like the effects of almost like having hay fever. But I mean, I have seasonal allergies and stuff, but it's real weird. Like, but I don't feel like I'm dealing with allergies at all. It's just, I don't know what is going on, but I don't think I'm the only one either. Like, I feel like a lot of people are dealing with, I can't stop sneezing and everything. So there's something going on with the, okay, where are we going with this? Because I feel like this major energy shifting now is affecting the human body. Like, it's weird. It's hard to explain. If more will come from that, I'll try and I'm focusing on clarity. Telepathically, I'm like, I want clarity on that. So yeah, I feel like it's almost like people are dealing with like just weird cold symptoms. Like, I feel like I'm not coming down with a cold, but nothing comes. It's okay. It's not or anything. It's weird and major. Like, I even just said to my doctor, I don't know if it's age, but my God, this last few days, trying to get out of bed. I mean, these also can be the signs of ascension symptoms too, so I've got to remember that. But I've also got to stick with the medical possibilities too, but I'm not going to focus too much on that. It's just weird this last few days. I'm like, oh, hello there. Can't get out of bed. It's like just the lower end of my back. I mean, I'm always sort of like going through my sort of, well, I've gone through the major Kundalini awakening, obviously, but that doesn't mean I like to sort of refresh it from time to time. It's great. I don't advise anybody to go through the Kundalini unless you're completely ready and everything, because that can cause a lot of like physical pains and everything, and you've got to have a mind ready for it and everything, because people have different effects. Deal with it. The effects of a Kundalini awakening, or just the constant transitionings of that, different to everybody else. Nobody's nobody is the same. We are all different, so we deal with things differently. But I mean, my first thought was, I just put myself through another Kundalini sort of, not upgrade, but just a quick. I like to just do it now and again. So I thought, well, maybe that's what it is. But I just find it ironic that, so that was like 2 weeks ago. So I would have felt something before then. It just literally came in the last few days, and it's like, oh, maybe there's another upgrade going on with physiology and everything. And okay, we'll see what's going on. But I'm not sure if anybody else is going through that too, just in this last few days. And again, I feel like it's going to last for a few more days from today. So I'm feeling like the 6th. You should start feeling a bit more normal and better by the 6th. Gotta hope so. I even said to my doctor earlier, I went, I think I'm getting old, doc, you know. I mean, it's not. But it could be that too, you know. Okay, there's my door. So I'm almost ready to sort of like start channeling fear. I want this. I understand what's going on. I've been getting it for freaking days. It's just. Okay. Right. Everybody's discussing this like new moon, right? Got to be very careful here, because let's stick with the spiritual community, because I'm gonna start discussing this more parapsychologically, right? Now, God, I'm channeling somebody. I'm not just channeling the higher order right now. I'm channeling somebody else. Which means somebody is attached to my energy frequency. Obviously, they're not going to get in, but they're close enough. My guardians have let them in close enough for me to feel them. just want to focus on this before I go for the dimensional door, because I don't know if they're astral spying or if they're trying to. I don't care if they're trying to attack my freaking energy field. It's nothing like that's going to get in. I'm not worried about that kind of stuff. It's just when I feel a lingerer, but it does not. The only thing is that it doesn't feel like a familiar one. Like, I do get a particular familiar elder, by the way. But he's part of a cult, like an organisation. But this one's different. I don't know who this one is. So I'm hoping my guardians will give me more clarity on that. I'm just waiting to make sure this person's not a threat or anything. Who am I channeling? Or who's trying to... It may... I'll wait for my guardians to give me that clarity. Right now I feel like they're just observing, like, oh, the hell are you and what are you doing? So I trust my guardians and my ancestors to deal with it. Now, fear. So there's this thing about this moon, this new moon apparently, right? Well, first of all, doing a little bit of research over the past few days, ironically, this is about the size of a semi-truck, right? It's some sort of apparently an asteroid which is going to be orbiting around the Earth for the next couple of months, I believe. Well, that's not clearly a moon then, is it? It's not going to be a moon if it's not. If it's going to leave and tot off, it's not a moon for the Earth, is it? So it's just clearly an asteroid. But so many people are discussing this and talking about it in the spiritual community. But it's not that big. It's not causing any weird... I mean, just analysing the data, scientists are sort of discuss it, like monitoring it, but they're not concerned because they're different different. I'll find the links. I do have links on my parapsychology page on my website, so you can sort of monitor stuff like this anyway yourself. You can just go straight to it there, but it doesn't seem like there's any. It just feels like it's not big enough to be a moon. But then we've got to be very careful because we've got other people in the spiritual community like, okay, well, that moon in the sky, it's not even real. It's like a starship. Or there are many, many theories on what that moon could be, right? But this is where it gets a bit contradictory and a little bit nonsensical, because if everybody's playing this whole, like, if everybody's one day they're all like, oh, they're feeling the effects of the lunar energy, right? Now, the lunar energy apparently alters tidal waves, it alters the behaviours of animals, and it alters the behaviours of humans, as we know. So when there's a full moon, animals go weird, humans go even weirder, and it alters the tides and the oceans, right? So then you've got to ask yourself, and I'm speaking as a parapsychologist now, not as a normal person. I'm like, this is where you've got to be logical. So if it's not real, and it's some sort of space, mothership, starship, whatever, right, that houses or accommodates interdimensional extraterrestrial, well, not so much interdimensional, more be extraterrestrial and multi-dimensional, ETs, extraterrestrials, aliens from different planets, reptilians, the whole shebang, because there is a lot. But if that's where they all sort of go and have, like, whatever it is that they're doing on this so-called fake moon, right? If it's some sort of like starship, and humans apparently go there all the time to do business with these aliens. I'm trying to keep it light. I don't want to go way too scientific with this because I'm trying to keep it simple and basic, but it's like, if there's aliens on the moon and they're monitoring us and watching us and controlling us from this like so-called moon, this fake moon, well then if what is going on there. Because if the real moon, again, we've got two types of peoples, or multiple types of peoples that believe the moon is real because of the lunar energies and the moon cycles, etc. And then there's on the other side, people are like, well, it's the fake moon, it's not real, it's like, it doesn't even belong here, and all this weird, years and years of this, I've heard it. But there's never been any solid proof to show us that it is a mothership or a starship or something, right? But they haven't even been able to, there's no evidence to disprove it's the real moon. So this is where these areas, especially in paranormal science and anomalous research and everything, get really confusing for most people, is because in the spiritual community, they're like, well, it's not a real moon. Well, if it's not a real moon, but it can affect this is where you're going to, this is a rabbit hole. If you're not ready for this, don't go down it. And I don't recommend people go down this either, unless you're ready and you're open-minded enough to do the research. But if it's not a real moon, and yet it's clearly somehow powerful enough to control the ocean tides and the behaviours of animals and the behaviours of humans during certain moon phases, then that's a weapon. That's a ginormous weapon in space, right? So if it can alter all of that, it can also alter weather. Clearly it can alter weather. If it can alter the ocean's tides, right? It can do, and it can clearly alter weather. So then you're going to ask yourself, if it's that powerful, have they upped the, and I'm just saying they because apparently it's peoples, it's humans and extraterrestrials. So I still need proof of this. I need evidence. So, but I'm going to go with multi-theories, right? If that's the case, then who's to say that they're not causing major increase of weather phenomena? Well, obviously it wouldn't be a real phenomena, would it, if it's manipulated? If it's such a powerful thing that can control human behaviours, animal behaviour, right? Again, ocean's tides during so-called moon phases. What else is it doing? What else is it capable of doing? It can cause hurricanes. It can bring in hurricanes, right? To take out states, cities, towns, everything. Tornadoes. It can really manipulate the whole weather system. We believe weather is natural, but how do we know that? If that's some sort of like major moon spaceship, right? That is able to see. This is where it causes a lot of fear, and I don't like to create fear at all. But I believe you should have an open mind to the possibility that if this is true, right, then it's not a real moon, then it's a giant weapon that has managed to keep us controlled. And I always find it ironic, this year especially, I don't care what anybody tries to tell me, I find it incredibly ironic. Now let's get one thing straight, hurricane season should have ended by now, or at least be on the edge of it, but yet the hurricane seasons are up on the Gulf and everything, and Florida and all of the Atlantic side are somehow getting all these crazy hurricanes. Remember, these are swing states. So, but don't you just find it ironic that it's all ironic? Because if you're going to go down these rabbit holes, you'd have to go down another one. Who's to say they're not creating these ferocious hurricanes, but they're using their weather weapon system, right, to create such chaos that people are too distraught, lost everything, the houses and everything, loved ones, to even think about voting in a very important presidential election. In a particular, it's always these major states, these swing states, that always have these problems. Really, it's not rocket science, is it? So that's an angle a lot of people could be focusing on right now, and it's feeling like I'm clearly going somewhere here, because I've been getting it for days now. Like I've had to have this. It's like the higher orders like, just focus on this. So there's something going on. But, and the fact that a lot of people are discussing this new moon. So apparently we're going to have two moons. Well, we're not. We're going to have a little asteroid the size of a semi-truck. And, thousands of years, greatest minds, astrologers, there's the cosmic, sort of think about all of those great minds that have studied the stars and studied the cosmos and everything, and are they all wrong? If it's such a fake moon, what on God's green earth were they seeing centuries and centuries ago? These great minds. All of that history and astrology that they taught us, if it's a fake moon, can you imagine what that's going to do to the psychology of human beings if that truth ever came out? Centuries of history, text, everything, complete shit. It'd be BS, won't it? It's not going to be real, is it? Because if the moon's not real, how can the intellectual text and research be true? So, try and stay with me. Now, if it's a real moon, then yeah, that would naturally be part of it, as it's sort of orbiting the Earth, and it's basically that it would cause its natural lunar cycles during the moon phases. So, and I just don't feel like if there is a real moon, it's not really going anywhere, is it? And I don't think it's going to be replaced with another moon. And then if suddenly we had another massive moon in the sky, like got two massive moons, it's like, well, which one's real? I knew this freaking remote view, I hadn't even got started yet. I hadn't even gone from the dimensional door, and it's already weird. But as a parapsychologist and a paranormal investigator and anomalous for the love of God, I can't speak. Here we go. An anomalous researcher. I've got to stay very logical, and this is as logical as I'm going to get. I'm very aware of a higher order. I'm very aware of a federation, right? I'm very aware of multi-species and everything, right? But can I offer evidence of that? No. That's why I do what I do, right? And because I'm logical, 95%, in my personal professional opinion, 95% of weird stuff that can't be explained could probably be logically explained one way or another, environmentally, man-made, many things man-made, right? But for me, I don't speak for anybody else, I would probably be able to explain 95% away. That 5% is my area, which is very hard to prove. Very hard. That's why if I come across anomalies or weird stuff that can't be explained, it's like, hello there, okay, let me try and figure it out and rule it out. But if it's just too unexplainable, it goes into my box, my weird world. So I do find it incredibly ironic that we're having this weird, the weather, some are calling it biblical, many are calling it like biblical. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, right? There's a lot going on though. But for me, I feel like a lot of shit is man-made. and has been for a very long time. I can't prove it. So I'm just basing it off my own sort of theories and opinions, because I'm allowed that whether you like it or not, right? It's just, it can't be proved. It's hard to prove. There's no evidence to decide one way or the other whether it's true or not. So, but I do find it incredibly ironic that this weird stuff, God, it does. It's just like 4 years ago, we had that thing which had affected this presidential election in this country. This one's more important because it affects the whole global world. So I am not surprised by the amount of weird stuff happening. And there's a part of me that is seeing cycles. It could be the Earth's normal cycles, or it could be weather phenomena in a way where is that natural phenomena or is it man-made shit, right? So it's hard to know, but there's been this year is off the charts. There is major distractions going on. There's weather distractions going on. There are so many distractions right now going on, all to divert the attention away from this presidential election that affects the world. And depending on which opposing side wins will determine the outcome. So, this is where the fear is coming from. This is what real fear-mongering does. Because you've got to remember, even though we are all absolutely 100% interconnected, right? Everything about this sort of matrix system and the way we have to live, right? Everything from politics, religion, every aspect of life is all interconnected. So whether you like politics or not, or whether you like religion or not, whether you like discussing anything or not, you're not going to be able to get away from it because it's part of our lives whether we like it or not. But this is why, this is where the fear is, because the whole collective fear. And again, it's not just here in the States. It's look at the world. Look at the wars that are going on right now. There's so much fear going on that this war machine is completely gone off the rails. But these are war distractions, right? And they're all losing they're all like little chickens that, I'm serious, just lost their heads. It's like these countries, these leaders have lost their minds. That they know in less than a month, the whole world's about to change depending on the outcome of this election, this presidential election. That is why the world is being turned upside down right now in every area of life. From weather to wars to just destructive human behaviour to so many distractions in celebrity worlds. Like, oh my God, P. Diddy, look at check that big distraction out. I hope they all fall and rot in hell and burn in hell for all I care, because I think those people are disgusting, right? Better late than never. Right? It's about time they saw some real justice. But I don't really care. I'm not going to be distracted by those creatures. Fake people with too much money, right? So, vile people, that's what they are. I don't care just because most people glorify them and worship them, I most certainly do not, because I'm not a program puppet. So, that's why I don't care about that crap. But it's a major distraction. So, okay. Wow. So the fear is real. And yet, the higher order is stressing. Release the fear. There is no point in fearing anything right now, because regardless of what happens, there's not a damn thing we can do. Because it's out of our hands. You can control your own lives the best you can, as much as you can. But come this election, it may turn out great. I mean, look, I can't stand politics, because I can't stand the mind-controlled people who have been completely programmed. Oh, the sheep on both sides, phenomenal. It's okay, it's all very cult-based, like it's all, it's kind of nauseating. As an interdimensional being with my human experience, I just want to puke. It makes me feel nauseated. The absolute crazy levels people are going because of this election. And I'll tell you something else as well. I don't like either. I don't vote. I don't like politics. I don't like either side. I think they're all as corrupt as each other, to be perfectly honest. But one side, well, the only good thing I'm going to take from this is at least we do know Trump likes his country, right? Whether he sticks with his promises, well, time will tell. But the derangement is not coming from his voters or that side. The derangement, the political program derangement, is coming from the other side. And the crazy far left liberals and everything, it's absolutely insane. So that's why it's nauseating. But their minds are so fearful that they're so programmed. Like, they believe every single thing that they've been fed into their programmed brains by mainstream media. What the actual candle? I'm just looking at my candle, I'm not going to say that word, but oh God, it's really bad. And I fear for them. Well, I don't fear for them because I don't fear anything, but I feel sorry for them, because if this doesn't go their way, do you have any idea what it's going to do to their psychology? Do you seriously? And this is what you need to be careful of when you're so fearful of the orange man, because you've been programmed to believe that, right? This is one man that you don't even know. I said this before in one of my other videos. Trump versus the Titans and all that kind of stuff. You're fearing one man because you've been told to. Makes no sense. So, what are you going to do if he wins? Are they going to cause destruction? Are they going to lose their minds? How do you know it doesn't get better? How do you know he's not going to turn everything around and make it so much better, easy to live by and everything? You seriously think these deranged people are going to admit that? No. They haven't been trained or programmed to take responsibility or admit that they were wrong. Right? So there's a weird, that's where the fear, this fear of he can't win, I'm feeling this on a collective scale. It's like, we can't let him win, we're afraid for our lives if he wins. Who are you? Who are you to him? You don't know him, he doesn't know you personally. You need to reprogram your brains and your minds and stop watching mainstream shit. That's the first step to healing that, right? Because you've been mind controlled and brainwashed completely. That's why it's culty, isn't it? Very culty. Oh God, it's disgusting. It's not healthy. It's not even real. for me, looking at the whole grand stage of it all, it's not even real. One side's going to get in and either do something about it, do something with the problem and fix it, or the other side's going to get in and completely continue to destroy it. That's it. That's the choices you've got. Unless, of course, one side that's promising to do it great and fix it all comes in and just completely destroys it worse than it already was. Well, then you haven't really lost much, have you? Because we're already heading towards third world war, right? Because the war machine's like really pushing hard right now. So, because those crazy leaders of every single country that's like acting irrational and attacking neighbouring countries, it's because of what's going to happen at this presidential election that they're pushing hard, because they're either about to win or they're about to lose. There's no difference to the two parties here at this point. So it's insane. And it's bad for your health. So the only thing I'm getting in regards to this election results that I've been getting from the higher order for weeks now, it's because I had to jump a timeline, and I went like a few months ahead of time just to sort of see what was going on. I was like, oh God, interesting, right? But even though I was seeing the results of the election, the higher order was like, just wait, because there's a possibility of fraud at the very last minute. So I came out of that visual like, okay, that sucks. So, but then at the same time, because I'm already discussing worst case scenarios, if fraud's committed again, well then you don't have a fair elections, do you, at all? So nothing's ever going to change, is it? And then the same monsters that control this whole machine, war machine, the matrix system. But you seriously think the higher order is going to allow that? I don't think so, for much longer. So now I've covered all of that which I apparently needed to be covered. And it's very hard to discuss so much because I have to do it in a way where I can keep it as simple as possible. So now I'm going to go right through that dimensional door and see what else. I need some clarity. Okay, just give me a moment. Weird. Oh God. Because I'm still, okay, I'm going to keep letting it come in. Because I'm still really focused on this election, it's all to do with this build-up. But this energy shifted in the energy field. Is that man-made? Because it's ironic that people are becoming, even highly ascended people will be feeling not fear from themselves, but they'll be feeling other people's fear that's projected. Oh God, seriously. Because it's almost like they want people to fear voting. Excuse me. Good Lord. Now, don't be fearful about voting. Get out and vote. If you have the legal right to vote, get out there and vote. Vote for who you want. It's your free will, your prerogative, right? That's a beautiful thing. But don't be fearing voting. And then I'm hearing the closets are emptying the skeletons. This is all building up. This is all building up to the... And then I hear it's just one big giant rat race. Yeah, that's how I feel about politics. They're nothing but rats. They're just rats. Politicians and politics, it's all a rat race. It's disgusting. Don't like any of it. And those good, decent ones that are in it for the right reasons, they're well and truly overshadowed by the rats and snakes and everything. Oh God, it's that bad. I kind of had a feeling as we focus on this freaking election. God, seriously, Higher Order, right? Days of this. It's because actually weeks. They've been bringing it in for weeks. While I'm waiting for the other stuff, there's more coming in. So this is IIDR40. It was... This whole energy on the collective spectrum. This whole build-up and this whole election and this whole presidential, it's just so negative. The energy is so negative on a collective scale. That's why it's so heavy. That's exactly why I feel like this energy is so heavy and it's so contagious. Oh God, yeah, I can feel it. Oh, okay. It's sad. It's sad that people feel like this. You see, when you have this fearful, negative energy, you can't think clearly. You can't think logically. Because you're so focused on trying to change or control more than anything. Outcomes. But can't, because to think you can control outcomes means you've got to try and control people. Nobody has a right to control anybody. Okay, anything else? Bring it in. Okay, I've already hit on this a few times now in the last few and I'm still having to focus on it for some weird reason. The higher order is like, bring the focus back to the fake gods. Oh God, seriously. Celebrities, people you're worshipping, you've got to stop doing that. Because, yeah, you're about to have your psychologies completely turned upside down. People that are worshipping celebrities, you're about to see exactly how vile and disgusting and evil those human beings you're worshipping shouldn't be, and that's your own fault. Nobody's forcing you to worship anybody. You shouldn't be worshipping another human being anyway, even a multi-dimensional one. You can look up to them, and you can sort of like take guidance and go, I want to achieve that too. Anything's achievable. You don't worship anybody. You worship the Most High. Unless, of course, you want to worship the one downstairs, the lower order. That's entirely up to you. That's your prerogative. That's your free will. But your celebrities are not gods. And they are not the most highest God of all. Strange. Yeah, it's like, I'm feeling like what I'm literally seeing, right, in my mind's eye right now is just this big screen, call it the giant cosmic stage TV, right? That thing, programming. But it's like, there's just, oh God, it's disgusting. It's just name after name. Names, I'm just hearing names, all being exposed. Even one of the opponent in the presidential election, there's exposure of her true character too. Which is kind of ironic, because when you think about what they've done to President Trump's character and absolutely defamed that man on the worst, vilest scale, slandered and everything, lied about. And yet the ironic part is all the truth about the people who've been doing it to him, and none of this was true. Yet now the truth is coming out about all of these that have been inflicting this onto him, are going to be exposed with truth, not with lies. That's so ironic, isn't it? It's all one big diversion. It's that. It's just, I'm seeing this big TV, like every names after names, and there's evidence and everything against them. Video evidence, photographic evidence. No, unless you're going to play that, if you're going to try and play that whole sort of like deep fake shit, right? Well, that's a thing. Be careful with that deep fake stuff. But you can still debunk that. There's some software out there, you know, where you can like contradict, you know, you can tell. Professionals who know what to look for when it comes to deep fake videos and photos and stuff like that. There is actual software out there to expose a deep fake, so they can like, well, yeah, that's not real, trash, right? That is real. So I feel like a lot of these vile lying celebrities, they're gonna play the whole deep fake card and everything to try and get the way out with it, or they're just gonna throw each other under the bus. They're just going to start throwing each other under the bus, like almost like preemptive sort of. Is it preemptive? That's the right word. Contradict me if you need to, but when I'm channeling, nothing's accidental. It's almost like they're preparing themselves for being accused next. Well, right. First of all, let's get something straight about if someone's like slandering you, or there's two ways of like there's criminal aspects of being slandered and defamed and false accusations, right? Well, you get a lawyer. You don't do anything. Somebody's making false accusations about you, especially legal false accusations and criminal false accusations. You get a lawyer immediately, and you let them deal with that, right? And you stay the hell away from those people, and you keep your mouth shut and do nothing. So that's the criminal side of that. The slanderous civil side of that, right? You can't do anything about vile, disgusting mouths, right? People are deranged when it comes to that kind of crap. But there's a line where you cross the line, there's defamation, and then there's ways of suing these people and then having them punished. But if you're dealing with that, again, say nothing. Keep away from these people. Give them nothing. Do not argue with them. Let them run their mouths. Just let them run it. Ooh, run away, right? Run that trash out your mouth. Keep it coming. Because eventually, they're going to get sued. They're going to screw up. They're going to cross that line. You can't stop people lying about you. You can't stop people creating fake rumours about you. You can't stop any of that. That is a society problem of dysfunctional people, hateful, jealous people. That's all that comes from. So you just let that go. That's all over the internet, right? Just ignore them. Best thing you need to do is don't even give them any of your energy by thinking about them or getting upset. Just once in a blue moon, just, like I do. Especially if you've got like a public sort of stage. I don't have again, just because my followers is not as large as other people, so what? I don't care about that kind of crap. That's bullshit. Whatever. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. What it is just let people know, hey, you might hear, you may come across some stuff like this. You have every right to sort of like defend yourself. But you do not name drop anybody. You do not name drop your accusers. You do not name drop your slanders or anything. But you can just put a little notification out there, a little video. It's like, hey, apparently, have fun with it. Just have a joke, but keep it. Don't name drop anybody. Otherwise, just like let it go. It's like, well, it will work itself out. We're clearly going somewhere here. But I feel like this is because of what these people are going to do. They're going to play that whole they're going to use that narrative, they're going to get lawyers. Every name here we go. That's what's happening, isn't it? Every name that gets dropped in the coming months and years, right? Because it's going to take a while, because it's one big distraction, remember. But every name that gets dropped, that name is going to lawyer up, right? And try and find a way to weasel themselves out of it by claiming deepfakes, videos and stuff like that, or slander or false accusations. But the problem is, during the investigation, because there are people out there that know what they're doing, very specialised in what they do, when they're able to contradict their claims, like this is all fake, and they actually have the truthful evidence, and that's when they're going to not only look stupid, but look guilty. Again, it's weird. It's like they're predetermining the outcome before the outcomes even come, before they've even been name dropped. Why would you be so worried if you're not breaking the law, if you've done nothing wrong and you're not doing anything wrong, you don't need to worry about a damn thing. Just keep your mouth shut. You do not need to be like, oh my God, I'm friends with these people, right? Well, yeah, you tend to be who you associate with, so you got to be careful who you associate with, right? I say this all the time. So, if you associate with these people, there's a reason you've got something in common with these people. So what are you doing? What are you up to? Right? I wouldn't hang out with people like that. No. So, but that's just me. So what I'm trying to explain is, if you're a celebrity that's freaking out right now, like, oh my God, I'm buddies with this person, I've been to those parties and I've done this and I've done that. Oh my God, he's going to name drop me. Now we need to get in there before he does, so I can have some sort of backup plans, have something on you. Otherwise, why on earth would you even be worried enough to care? Again, deepfakes can be debunked and all that good stuff and contradicted and all proven that they're deepfakes. Real evidence will send you to prison. So, okay, that's big. That's was like one giant TV of names, dropping, names. They're all freaking out. Yeah, it's weird. Because it's like, and again, it's so weird how it went from all of the names that have lied about. I'm just using this as an example now, because again, they're all interconnected. Most of them are in bed with each other. All of the names that have spent years now lying about Trump, lying about Trump's family, disgracing him, trying to destroy his life, everything, false accusations, right? Seriously, that guy's been through it. And yet, they're all on one guy is going to be bringing out the names of probably every single person that's in it's Trump. So it's like beautiful karma, isn't it? What goes around comes around. But I feel the difference is because there's no evidence against him, and there never was, but there's going to be absolute evidence against all of these, and that's what they're so afraid of. That's their fear. Will there be any true justice? Time will tell. I don't really have a lot of faith in this justice system, but I do want to give a shout out to the white hats though. I feel like I need to. Here's why. They're part of the higher order, first of all. They have done so much work over the past, I'm going to say rigorous hard work over the past 10 years, right? Bringing down this system. Though you're talking multi-systems within the system. And you're probably sick and tired of hearing system come out my mouth. Trust me, I'm sick of it saying it, right? But that's what it is. Unless you can think of another word of it, then hit me up and let me know and I'll use that. But this is where we're at. The white hats have done so much work under, again, they've been undercover, they've been embedded, they've been in there. I've been discussing this since why these systems are breaking down, these organisations are collapsing, why people are getting arrested, why cults are collapsing, because of who's in their groups and everything. So, but a lot of these are white hats, the white hats. These are amazing. Well, some of them are multi-dimensional, but some of them are amazing human beings, but they're all amazing regardless. Interdimensional, sorry, why is multi-dimensional? I don't know what's going on with the higher order, but all I've been hearing all day is multi-dimensional. I don't know. I'm sure there's let me write it down because something might come out, but they're interdimensional. They're not fully human. I don't think they are the new army, though. It's almost like they're getting ready for the new army. Some of them could be. Some of them could be part of the new army. Not all of them. Or they're going to be working very, very closely with the new army. Now, why am I thankful and grateful to them? Well, I feel like my guys, and okay, it's coming in. I've spoken about my guys. They are 6 federal agents. I don't know what branch. I don't know who they are. I just know their energies. I don't know the names or anything. But I'm feeling they are most definitely, probably high power, but they're very much like me. They're just too busy to be connected as much as I can. But there's other people like me too. It's not just me. But they are, because they're on the inside. And I feel like they're white hats. They're part of the white hats. And the reason I'm so thankful to all of them is because there are scientists like me, and there are people like me. There are channelers, there are psychics, there are people with amazing abilities, right? Who can freely be who we are meant to be. We can freely choose this path in the realm of spirituality or whatever it is that you do. We can freely exercise our free will to truly be who we are without fear of persecution and being murdered, right? Let's not pretend it's not real. We can freely be us and then now show the world who we are, that we are just as entitled to be on this planet than anybody else. Because the lower order has been in control of this system for so long. And when you understand certain types of, and I'm not going to say it, I'm not going to go there, but there are certain types of doctors you should not be trusting. I would not trust if my life depended on it. But these are part of the system. These are people problem part of the system to destroy people like me, and there is many of me. So because of the white hats, they just completely internally started destroying the system and bringing really, they've paved a way for us to come onto the grand stage now ourselves and come into our own, take control of our own cosmic stages where we can come out on stage rather than hide behind the curtain. We can come out and show the world who we are, because what we do is good, and it's for the light, and it's for the ascension of that. It's for everybody. We are here to help people. We are here to help our human brothers and sisters, right? To evolve a little bit, to move ahead into the future, right? This is what this is what we're supposed to do. We've always tried doing this, even in other life cycles, and it's true. We've probably been murdered or burnt at the stake or anything, as you know, history will tell you that. But it's always like the lower order has always destroyed us or persecuted us. Not anymore. There's time that's completely changed. And you've got to be very thankful to the white hats, because even though they're on different missions, whether they've done this knowingly, they have literally paved a path for us to finally walk out and truly be ourselves. Because what we bring to the table, what we bring to the global stage, to people everywhere, right, is human abilities that can be taught. The way we can teach people to evolve, to tap into their human abilities that we've all got. To freely be able to exercise those abilities without fear of going to prison or being put in a freaking white room or a funny farm, do you know what I mean? Those days are over. And it's sad because when it feels like for a very long time this lower order of people have murdered so many brilliant minds, scientists and everything, who chose to be different, who wanted to do things differently. Absolute persecuted psychics and everything, like spiritual people, gifted people. So, and I feel strongly that there's a part of their mission was not only to destroy evil within and the corrupt and everything, but because a lot of them are interdimensional and very gifted with amazing human abilities. And you've got to remember, these are my guys with telepathically connected all the time. Like, if there's something like what I get from the higher order, I don't know if they're getting the same information. I don't feel like they are, or if they're not. Well, sometimes they do. It's really hard to explain, and it's very hard to prove as well. So, but I feel like if you logically think about it too, when you look at YouTube and the internet, it's like the gifted people with the amazing human abilities, they're out there on their own little cosmic stage. It's great. They're not afraid. Once you remove that fear, you have to be fear, lower order. You don't have to be afraid of anything at all. But that's why YouTube is so prevalent with it, with those people now, exercising their abilities and showing who they really are. They still get, like trolls and deal with that kind of crap and bullying and stuff like that, but only from people that have got zero open minds, right? Completely programmed people, right? Well, that's their fault, isn't it? They can snap out of that and wake up anytime they want to. But because they don't understand, they don't want to, and they don't choose not to. But the more people are waking up, that's also causing a shift as well. And as more people are waking up, more people are realising what they're capable of. So now they're adopting and learning and researching about what they can do and who they really are. And that is just, that is not good for the lower order at all. So, and I feel like those people are waking up just in time at the right time as well. So we had to thank the white hats for what they're doing undercover and the missions and everything. But if you have a spiritual burn in your body and you're slightly ascended or you've got amazing human abilities and you know you're not fully human, right? That's okay now. It was not okay before. You have to be careful. It's just coming so strongly from the higher order that the higher order is literally like, it's okay now. It wasn't before. So something's changed. If the higher order is saying it's okay now, and this is why I've got to eradicate that fear. This is this fear. It's the fear of it. There's so many ways people are fearing everything. And we've got to stop fearing anything. We don't need to. What are we going to fear? Death. It's part of life. It's just the end of a life cycle and start of a new one, that's all. So, but that's hard to understand, especially if you have religious faith and we don't want to infringe on your beliefs or anything like that because we don't have a right to, but that mindset is going to alter in the future. Like, people are finally going to stop trying to infringe on other people's beliefs. Because you don't have a right to do that. Just because we don't believe what you believe doesn't mean we don't have a right to believe in what we want. You don't get to stamp your feet and demand your beliefs are respected and taken seriously when you're trying to infringe and disrespect other people's and not give them the same respect. Tot off. Wake up. Get pre-programmed. That is idiotic, right? That is all over society right now. Just because you don't believe in what somebody else believes in, that's okay. Get over it. But leave them alone. It's none of your business, right? Just like what you believe in or what you want to do with your life, etc., etc., is none of their business. They're going to leave you alone. Just get on with your life. None of their business. The principle is the same. You don't get to play this silly little game of it's our way, my way, no way, no, your beliefs are shit, that's all bullshit, blah, blah, blah. It's this way. I don't think so. No. That's programming. Wake up from that. That's not healthy. And you're not going to be a respectful human being with that mentality. So, everybody is born with free will, and we will die with free will. And everybody has a right to believe in what they want, as long as they're not hurting another human being with their beliefs. That's okay, right? You don't have to agree with them, believe in what they believe in, or even accept it. But, so what? It's not going to change. You're not going to change people's beliefs just because you don't like it. Really? So, okay. So the way's been paved now. And that makes sense, because I've been feeling that for a while actually, but I just wanted to make sure. I say this all the time. You do not have to get rid of your beliefs. You can adopt. You can take on new beliefs, right? You can believe in anything. Only you is the one that restricts your mind from believing in the possibility of anything. That's it. Unless you're completely brainwashed and, you're part of a cult or a religious cult but regardless, you have a right. You can just add to your beliefs and get rid of some and add some new ones. Life is constantly altering all the time. When you start researching and learning more, that's naturally change your way you look at certain things. So that might alter a belief, and then in doing so, you may add another one. Like you may, okay, well, I feel like I believe in this more than I do that now. That's really weird. It's okay. Let it go. Nothing's gonna happen. What, you're worried about what people say? Oh my God, you're such a hypocrite. You used to believe. So what? You've grown. People that are complaining about that kind of crap and making those statements have not grown at all. And you're going to go through this. People are not going to be able to understand you as you sort of grow and evolve anyway. So, but that's none of your business. Let them be. Let them think what they want. They're going to anyway. It's none of your business what they think of you, and vice versa. Wow, okay, it's coming up strong. There's this real emphasis on trying to help people eradicate that fear, because it's almost like it's just strangling everybody. I feel like the collective have got a cord around its neck, strangling themselves from fear that is being programmed into you. And if you could just get a pair of scissors and cut that cord, and then you're free. But you've got to cut the cord. You've got to, and by cutting the cord, you might just need to turn off your programming machines. But that's a hard thing to do these days, especially when you've got 2 generations of don't do anything but like this. Their whole minds and lives are in a machine. Like, that's it. I worry about them, because if that grid ever goes down and shit hits the fan, those people, those millennials and Gen Z, whatever they are, those that are completely without any basic survival skills or anything, and don't know another way of living, or even, seriously, it's really scary, because what they become absolutely codependent on from every area of their lives, right? The moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep is all technological. They're in trouble. They won't survive 3 weeks. They won't even know what to do. Because if that grid goes down and the whole system collapses like that, what are they going to do? They're going to be like, where's Gen X? Where's those Gen Xers that we're so apparently worried about? Why are you worried about us? Why are you worried about Gen X? You don't need to worry about Generation X at all. We've been having survival skills. We were building kind of like cabins in the woods, playing around when we were kids. We were making fires with sticks. We know how to survive. We are the hunters if we need to be. So we know how to, and we know there's a world without technology. We know how to go back to basics if we need to and survive it, right? So, but you'll have to come looking for us, you Gen Zs and millennials, because we're already out there truly away from you peoples, because you're going to lose your minds. And we're not going to get caught up in any of that. Those Gen X's are already been prepared for it. So, not all, but most of us are. And, you know, I'm like, okay, we know what's going on here. We're already in the woods. We're already surviving. And we're waiting it out. We'll be okay. Right? You peoples won't be. You've got to start learning some basic life survival skills, I'm telling you. And if you don't know how to, or don't know where to start, maybe try reaching out to the Gen X's and start, hey, is there any classes we can take about survival courses and stuff like this, and what to do if the grid goes down? How would we, trust me. But you're going to have to get dirty. You're going to have to get your hands dirty and everything. You're going to have to survive outdoors. Oh, I know that. You're going to have to learn how to, depending on where you end up, you might have to, hopefully, collect rainwater. There's all sorts of ways, but you're going to have to understand how the elements work and work with the elements, right? And then with the terrain you're in and everything, you're going to have to figure out how to survive terrains that you're in. We Gen X's are okay. You millennials, I'm serious, you millennials, and you Gen Z's, whatever you are, you do not need to be worrying about us. You need to be worrying about yourselves. So, yeah, that's them. But we won't be able to help you when shit hits the fan. We'll be long gone. We're trying to help you now to be prepared for. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. It's better to be ready for something, and if it doesn't happen, that's okay. But at least you were ready. Yeah, that's. And I'm a Gen X and I'm okay. I can survive in the wilderness if I need to, believe me. And clearly we're going somewhere here, so I'm going to stay on it, because this is why you do not rely on technology. I do not care. You can do what you want, but I do not care about relying on technology. I will not do it, right? Because 2 years ago, I created my own database and everything, technological, right? As you do, because everything's online and everything, right? Computer-based. Big mistake. Great. Thank God it happened when it happened, because I just done my taxes, right? Don't particularly like doing taxes, right? Because tax is fair, but until we get rid of this matrix system, that's not going to change yet. However, I did everything was in the system, in the database and everything, right? And my system got hacked. Lost everything, right? Because I thought, maybe I'll get with the times, right? Never again. Get with the times, get the technological times, right? So, big lesson now, and that was trying to, run my business. And now I'm like, okay, I'm not doing I'll collect digital receipts, right? Absolutely, and I'll store them, and I'll have a secondary storage system, right, and all that good stuff. But my whole, I've gone full blown manual. I don't give a shit, right? And if there's IRS or these auditors these days, these millennials and Gen Zs don't know how to work a manual system, well, that's just tough crap, innit? Because I am not doing that kind of crap again. It was that easy, and it happened just like that in seconds. And can you imagine being a huge corporate company and that happens and you've got no backup or anything? Because, again, it can happen and you're not thinking about that, but, you should be, But I realised I'll do a certain amount digital, that is it, online. There's only a certain, but the main focus of my business now and everything from accounts is manual. So that was a huge, and that's where you need to, that's when I realised, oh God, I've got to go right back to basics, because that's how we used to run our businesses. That's how we used to do business. That's when we were working for a company back in the day. Everything was manual receipts, everything was manual documents, books and everything. So that's why for me technology is a convenience only. It's a privilege and a convenience, but you do not rely on it. Never rely on it, and never put because thank God I was only just starting it as well, so I didn't really lose much, but I still lost everything from the was it previous year? I think it was probably the previous year. Yeah, because I relocated, so I started the business here. So, and because it was like technically I restarted the business, it was a new business here. I didn't lose a lot. Thank God I didn't really lose make that much that first year to lose much anyway. So, but thank God I'd already done my taxes and sent it off and everything. But yeah, it was scary. But like I said, into the second year, it was like I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to get the sign of the time, you know. So now you can kind of do both if you want to, but there's just too much online fraud, and oh God, no, I don't like it. Hacking and everything all the time. So it's just easier, and because I was hacked, that showed me how easy it was to. So that's why I only have so much digital stuff, like just receipts and stuff. But other than that, I don't keep any of my major no. I learned a lesson. Right? I don't go out there making that same mistake twice. And now everything's gridlocked. Like I have a system in the system, but even I've got like it's like shield and everything about my credit score, the whole freaking shebang. But nothing's completely 100% safe. But at least I'm prepared for something else if it ever happens again. And when you started dealing with ID fraud and stuff like that, you've got to work with it the best you can, because people are evil. So, and again, it's just you've got to not rely on technology the way people are. Because again, if that grid goes down, and I don't care, you know, you're going to need to have a backup, a manual backup as well, system or something. It's just all... It's all there, isn't it? It's all very connected to everything. It's all literally connected. And it all starts with fear. Fear in the celebrity world right now. Fear of exposure. Fear of the truth. Coming out. Fear of the truth. That's what I'm going to title this video. Right, is there anything else? This is a long one tonight. Depending on how long I'm sort of zoned out for, as you know, I'll just cut that if I need to, if I zoned out too long. Is there anything else? Because I feel like I've just connected it all together, but in every area of life. Come on, Aaron, what else? Is there anything else? Okay. Okay, I don't know how to put that into. There's information coming in, but it's not making complete sense. I don't know how to structure it. Okay, let me go with the feeling of it then. I might be able to explain the feeling of it rather than it. It's the tides are turning. Everything's turning. Like we were going. The only way I can explain. We were going this way for so long. Now we've done a complete diversion because the tide's turning. Why is the tide? Is there a symbolism behind the tide? Oh God, not again. Okay, I get it. In my 6D video, I was discussing the High Rider was mentioning back then. God, I think that was like in February time, I believe. They said, and said it again, the construct of Genesis is broken. The tide, so because the construct of Genesis is broken, it's altered now. Like again, we were being dragged. We weren't living the way we weren't living freely the way we wanted to. We were just being dragged in this direction. But since the construct of Genesis, that can be symbolic, but now the construct of Genesis is broken, we've literally had to, whether we've had to for the survival of ourselves and our species, but this feels grand, like big, we've had to completely divert off away from the old way, the old system. Okay. Because the construct of Genesis is broken. So what it sounds like, it feels like major changes are coming. It's going to be huge changes. It's going to be completely different. Whether that will be amazing for you peoples on an individual level, or whether it will be amazing on a grand scale, time will tell. The point is, it can't be any worse than what it's already going in, what it already is now, and the way we're going. If we keep going the same way, in the same direction, we're going to crash and burn. We can't live like that. We can't survive as a species going in that direction. That's right down to programming, to agenda-based, culture-based, just everything that's wrong in society. Like, there's always agendas, do you know what I mean? Like, everything is political. Everything is, the social constructs are just so, they make no sense. And that is why society is collapsing. That's why, so we can't continue in that direction. So now there's been a major the shift as well. But now we've diverted in a completely different direction. It can't be any worse. It might not feel comfortable. It will be very different. Different doesn't mean it's bad. Or it could be amazing. But we're not going to know until we start really going in a different direction. We have got to move in a different direction. We cannot keep going the way we're going. It's that simple. So, and I feel like because it's all controlled by the system, which is the political system, is the biggest problem and part of that on a global scale. But this election, I feel like, is going to be the whole, whatever happens in this election, we either going to continue to go the way we're going, and completely destroy ourselves, or we're going to have to go in a different direction and see what happens. So we're going to have a little bit of hope that it can at least be different, but time will tell. You continue in this direction expecting a different result, you're going to go insane. You're going to absolutely, there's no way, that's it, it's not possible. So at this point, don't fear anything. Just go with the unknown at this point. Just go with the flow. You don't need to be afraid of anything. And we can't go on the same way anyway, because the construct of Genesis is broken. The whole religion, the religious sects and everything, they're also collapsing because they are control mechanisms within the system. They have controlled the mind through fear-based brainwashing. So that could be symbolic for that. So, and if you want to watch, I'll put that 6D video in the contents box too. But I'm going to close this out now because I just I feel like I had to cover so much. I mean, that's like feels like an October special. Do you know what I mean? Nothing is random when I'm channeling. Nothing that comes out of this mouth when I'm channeling is ever really right. There's always a meaning to many things, but the meaning might not be based on what you think it is. It can be so many different meanings for so many different people that you can take it and have major discernment when you're watching anything within the realm of spirituality online. You do not need to be believing anything I'm saying or doing, right? I encourage you to critically think, research, and don't believe everything that you're being told, and just open your minds if you want to. It's actually your free will. So I'm going to close this out at 9:41 p.m. So, my peoples, I will be connecting to the higher order again very soon. Just had to just sort of do a little bit of work on my shadow side that was trying to creep back in. The unhealthy ego is always there. You just got to control it, and it was just a little bit. Well, it was, some of it was my energy, but most of it wasn't. It was like projected energy. So I had to tap into the shadow side of me to conquer it. And I'll tell you one thing about understanding your shadow side too, especially when you're like human abilities and stuff like that, and you do what I do. When you're dealing with like really bad people, right? Sending incredibly toxic, nasty, vile, heavy energy attacks and witchcraft shit, right? Yeah, you don't want to be sending that to me, because I will literally connect to my shadow side, and you don't want to mess with my shadow side. That's why I keep it dormant for a reason. It's controlled, right? It's not good, because when I have to connect to that energy, that shadow side, it's naturally going to attack the evil energy that people are sending to me. So I'm not going to go out and attack and go, screw you. I'm going to connect to my shadow side, right? Bring it all in, because my shadow side is just as dark as anybody's, right? But I control it. These people can't control it. That's why they do the shit they do. I control it to the point where I'll bring it all in, right? And then I'll transmute it. It'll take me a few days depending on how much I've got to transmute in, right? I'm going to transmute and bring in. And then I'll get rid of it. I would rather these creatures send that dark shit to me than to anybody else who don't know how to utilize their shadow side and transmute that sort of energy. Nobody has a right to be sending that. And I'll tell you something else as well. When you start messing about with stuff like that, you are not immune from universal law. So, again, it's better these people send that stuff to me, because I don't have to react to it. I'll transmute it. But by transmuting it, I have to connect to my shadow side, the darkness within us all. And that's the fastest way for me to transmute it. If I tried to transmute that shit with my light, beautiful energy, I'd be sobbing for like 3 weeks. I don't think so. No. I'm going to get rid of it quickly. So it just means I've got to rest a little bit too and figure out where it came from, and then I'll call judgment. Whoever they were, immediately I'm calling judgment and deal with them, because the universal laws is in place. And there are some of us, right? There are some of us, whether people like to hear it or not, we have a right to call judgment. We will call judgment, especially when we're spiritual sort of responsibilities too. We're not going to allow that. We're not going to allow that to be attacked by that. We're not going to allow these people to attack other innocent people with that. But we, people like me, we can absorb that vile, horrible energy into our energy field and then really tap into that shadow side of us and transmute it. And it's completely turned into pretty much nothingness, right? But I have techniques I don't share, and nobody should be sharing their transmuting techniques or anything. There's many ways of doing it, and that's nobody else's business anyway. But the main thing, but the point I'm trying to make is, the moment I call judgment on, I don't even need to really know who sent it. Just that whoever the sender was, or the senders, send that right back. It's theirs. It don't belong in my energy field. And deal with them. They are basically, they will have to deal with universal laws. And if you truly believe in the real sense of spiritual prison, jail or anything like that, it means these people will never ever be able to do anything again with their little tricks and stuff. They'll never be able to send out another spell again. They will be blocked. They'll never be able to unlock that, utilize that third eye ever again. So, que sera, sera. But yeah, so that's been happening, and I'm, again, like I say, I'm kind of glad they sent it to me. I know it was multiple people. There's always one main offender in it all, but it's multiple people. Like, it's weird that. So that's that. And these sort of people, they're all very like, they're into the sort of dark magics and the dark side. They like to worship the devil and all that crap, you know what I mean? Each to their own. Not my forte, but they get very excitable, and they start doing a lot of this kind of crazy stuff, like beginning of October, well into Hallows Eve, right? So Halloween and stuff. They pull on the dense lower energies. So, and they truly believe that gives them a sense of power. The only reason they feel powerful is because when they send it to most people that don't understand it like I do, it makes them, it can hurt them. And they create fear. They create fear in people. That's why they feel a bit powerful. They're about as weak as it comes. Got no power at all. So when they come up against someone like me, like a light warrior, you seriously think they've got any power over me? I don't think so. Right? That's why it takes multiple of them to do it. It's pathetic. And that's the difference between having an unhealthy ego, right, and knowing oneself. Because when you know oneself, and you know yourself, and you know who you are, you don't have that unhealthy ego. But to these sort of people, they'll be like, who does she think she is? I don't think I'm anybody. I know exactly who I am. Those people don't know who they are. That's why they need groups. That's why they need multiple people. That's why they can't do anything alone. But they don't like light warriors. They don't like light workers. They don't like light because their mind functions within the darkness. So it's very sad, but that's the reality, unfortunately. That's big in society. And again, it's an abuse in the area of spirituality. They abuse spirituality and they give it a very bad name. So before I end speaking on that, if you go to my website, if you're dealing with, I do a lot of releasements, energy releasements, and I discuss this all the time in other videos, but if you're dealing with the effects of witchcraft and you feel like someone's just cursed you, right, and someone's sending you like spell work and stuff like that and voodoo, and just go to my website. I'll get rid of it for you. I'll clear that shit up. I do use the remote viewing method. I'll get rid of it, and then once I've cleared it up and all that good stuff, I'll give you a protection cloak, right? Simple as that. So they're not going to be able to get anything else in afterwards. It's up to you, but that is a service I do offer, and that's done remotely anyway, so you do not need to physically see me. You can be at the other side of the world for that, right? I'm connecting to your energy frequency. Once I connect to the quantum field, I'm going to go right to your energy frequency. I'm going to see what's going on. I do this all the time. I do these releasements all the time for people. But right now, because witchcraft is so weird and prevalent, people are just like really going full-blown psychotic with this crap just lately. It's so weird, especially this year. So you don't need to be worried about it. There's ways you can, if you don't know how to get rid of it yourself and you don't know how to cleanse properly, it's okay. If you just need a full removal of witchcraft and stuff like that, and it's just energy manipulation, energy attacks and everything, just get rid of it. I'll clear it out. I do it all the time. So there is a service you can use. I'll even put the link for that in the description box below too, because people ask me about that all the time. I'm like, yeah, just what do you need? I'll just give me your date. When do you want me to do it? Just let me know when you want it doing. What time's best for you? It doesn't even matter about the time zone. And there's a 30-minute session. There's a 30-minute session. Seriously, it's important right now. So, but that's only if you fear or you feel like someone's messing around with your energy and attacking you constantly, and you have an idea that they're dabbling in the dark arts and stuff like that. You probably be having a lot of like spell work done on you. I'll get rid of it in like 30 minutes. Don't worry about it. And then, like I say, once I cloak your energy field, right, with freaking light force, right, that's what I do. I'm going to cloak you with a protection cloak. So nothing they send after that is going to get in. It's just going to bounce right off like a little boomerang, boom, right back to the sender. That's all. You're not going to worry. And all those headaches and all that weird, dense energy you're dealing with, it's gone. So, but you'll feel that anyway. But that's just a little heads up, because I know that's happening a lot, and people are constantly, I know people are dealing with that all the time. So, but you don't have to suffer with it. And so, yeah, that's just that. And to my haters, my devil worshipping haters, how's my little voodoo doll going? She doing okay? Maniacs.